that just a few months ago, he became the #1 website in the world for health and nutrition and chiropractic. He is the voice leading the way. Let's give it up for Dr. Josh Axe. Come on.
All right. Great. All right. Well, good to be here, guys. What a party. All right. Well, when people ask me my favorite health and wellness conference, every time I say Cow Jam. Billy and the team have done such an amazing job. I'm so honored to be here today. So today I'm going to be digging in and talking about ancient nutrition for modern disease and amazing health. And so we're going to touch on things like traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, and principles that have been around for more than 5,000 years. When you look at our medical system today, the research, what's going on, it's backed by less than 100 years of research, and it's all funded by biased pharmaceutical companies. When traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurveda and ancient forms of therapy have been around for 5,000 years with millions and millions of individual case studies proving their efficacy. So we're going to talk about essential oils, herbs, superfoods like bone broth today, and how to overcome a number of chronic diseases by treating the root cause of disease today. So for me, just a little bit more about me, that's myself and my wife Chelsea and our 2 dogs. My wife said, you've got to stop using that picture because you realize Oakley is giving everybody a full frontal. But I'm like, it's like one of the, better pictures we have with us and the dogs. So anyways, we really love them, and they drink bone broth every day. They're doing great. And so anyways, I really love what I do. I love being able to teach people how to use food as medicine, which is really what I teach people on draxe.com. And I want to really start off sharing, and I know many of you guys know this story, and so I'm going to go through it fairly quickly, but I want to talk about why I practice the way I practice today, why I formulate products the way I do, why I put out articles and content and videos the way I do. It is very specific to my experience as a child growing up in the medical model. When I was a kid, when we were sick, we immediately went to the doctor. It didn't matter what we had, the flu, a cold, anything, and we went to a doctor, Dr. DG, who I had in Troy, Ohio, and we got prescribed antibiotics pretty much across the board. Oh, you've got an ear infection? Antibiotic. Oh, you've got a cut on your finger? Antibiotic. And that's how we were growing up. When we were sick, we got put on medications. Now, my family was really into fitness, though, growing up. My dad was a semi-pro water skier. My mom was a swim instructor. She was my gym teacher in elementary school. Talk about the worst thing ever, having your parent as a teacher. And, I was, ADD all over the place. So, my own mom would send me to the principal's office, which is really terrible, but it's true. And so, we were really active as a family growing up. But at 40 years old, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. And this was, again, shocking to my family because we thought, hey, she looked good on the outside. How could she be sick on the inside? But because we were ingrained in that medical system, my mom went and had a mastectomy. She went through rounds and rounds and rounds of chemotherapy. And I can still remember to this day, I remember her looking in the mirror and taking a comb through her hair and just hair just coming out in chunks. I remember after those chemo treatments, looking at her skin and her face and it being sunken in and thinking she had aged 20 years in a matter of weeks. And just saying to myself as a kid in junior high, man, I never want to see anyone, whether it be a family or a mom or kids, have to go through something like this. So my mom continued on with her treatments, almost lost her life once, I remember, during that time. But, praise God, she made it through those treatments. And at the end, the doctor said, you're cancer-free, you're healthy, but here's the problem. Even though they said that, she was really sicker than ever. My mom got diagnosed with conditions such as chronic fatigue syndrome afterwards, hypothyroidism, chronic liver issues, digestive issues. She was diagnosed with depression. She got put on 3 medications, including an antidepressant. And the biggest memory of my mom was she was sick and tired all the time. And this went on for 10 plus years. Well, about 10, 11 years later, I'm actually in chiropractic college learning these principles of treating the root cause of disease, above, down, inside out, really allowing the body to heal naturally. And so I get a call from my mom, though, sobbing on the phone, and she says, I've got bad news. I just went to my oncologist, and they found tumors on my lungs. They've diagnosed me with cancer again, and they want to go in and do surgery and radiation. She said, what do? I said, I'll be home. Flew back from Florida back to Ohio. We sat down, prayed together, and we felt really led to take care of her all naturally. And so we just changed everything. She started juicing vegetables every single day. She started drinking broth, bone broth every day. She started doing berries. She started doing things like reishi mushroom and cordyceps, turmeric. She started using essential oils like frankincense. So she radically changed her diet. And today I'm going to get into all the things my mom did in addition to diet. We'll get into diet as well. But the other thing my mom did, we got out a Bible. She started going through healing scriptures. She recited them into a recorder at the time. And then she would listen to those every morning and every night when she'd wake up. She would listen to these affirmations, by his stripes I'm healed. She would also say that she was more than a conqueror. And then she would also visualize herself, her white blood cells and T killer cells going and gobbling up all her cancer cells. She did visualization. My mom realized she was chronically stressed. My mom had a lot of fear and worry in her life. And I'll get into that in a minute in traditional Chinese medicine, how emotions cause disease in very specific organs. But my mom as a kid loved horseback riding. So there's a horse farm down the street. So she started riding a horse again. She started doing all these things to relieve the stress, to load up on nutrients, and to get her nervous system functioning properly. My mom, the first thing we did is she started seeing a chiropractor 3 days a week, getting chiropractic adjustments. She's had terrible forward head posture, started bringing that back, saw an amazing difference in her body.